Hello and welcome to a new episode of on how to become a digital nomad. In this video, we're gonna talk about where to go. Now, there are different ways to think about where you want to go when you are a digital nomad. There is a more broader way. You just look at the world and think about where exactly you want to go. And there is a more detailed way. So you have chosen to go in a city, a village, somewhere. But then you want to decide, okay, where do I sleep? Okay. So let's start from the word perspective. Now in here, you basically have to answer the question by yourself of where do you want to go? Like, do I want to visit the Colosseum? Do I want to walk on the Great Wall of China? Do I want to hike and reach Machu Picchu? Here, actually, imagination will be your limitation. In fact, you won't be able to go in places that you didn't think about. And here, what I suggest is also to take it a little bit more philosophical rather than just in go places. Because another way to think about where to go might be just about direction instead of just going to point A and then point B. So imagine that you are like, okay, I really want to go to Asia, but instead of going directly to Beijing, I will just do it country by country. So this is another way or another approach to think about traveling and where to go. So usually I suggest to start in a very simple manner, in a very easy way. Or what I usually suggest is to follow the touristic track. The touristic track is basically all those touristic things, touristic places that tourists usually do and go. Why do I suggest that? The reason is because all those things, all those activities that you find in a touristic track are very simple and convenient things to do and to visit. So you won't have big problems in doing them. And in doing so, you will actually understand what you like and not like while traveling. You might discover that you actually enjoy a lot visiting museums and maybe not so much nature and hiking. You have to try to really know more about it, about yourself. And the only problem about following the touristic track is that it's more expensive. But a very nice way to put it is that you're basically paying a little bit more to get to know more about yourself. But obviously, the more you do these sort of things, the more you probably get bored about most of them. And you start doing other sort of things that are a little bit more challenging, but you know more on how to handle them. So start simple and then go a little bit more in more difficult things and challenge yourself. So at this point, you're probably starting thinking about, okay, I know where I want to go in the world. I might choose to go in this direction, maybe. And I know which cities I want to visit. Okay, we are there. Once you're choosing the cities, you start wondering, okay, I have to book for a place. So you need to think about accommodation. So there are the 4 different types of accommodations. There are hostels, there is the accommodations from Airbnb, and then there are bed and breakfast. Now, I'm not gonna talk about what are the differences among them, because pretty much have been there already and you already know. But I will be talking about how to choose which one you probably prefer. And you basically have to think about 5 different things to choose a place where you want to stay or an accommodation. First is your age. Then you have to think about your budget, how much money you have, Third is your personality. Fourth is with who you're traveling with. And fifth is security. Last but not least, and it's very important, is security. So let's consider a couple of examples to understand what do I mean by and how to think about these factors. So let's consider that I'm a 25 years old guy. I'm not, but let's imagine, for example, I am, and I saved some money because I've worked for 1 or 2 years. So my budget is not that great, it's not so big. I care about how much I'm spending, and I really want to know as many people as I can. So I'm not extrovert, but I'm really easygoing guys, and I want to talk with other people. And I'm traveling solo. So at this point, the best pick for you would be a hostel because it's cheap and the rooms are shared, and you can find and meet someone in the rooms. Perfect. Let's consider another case. Let's consider an almost opposite one. So let's consider that I am 35. I am not, but let's imagine. I have been working for some years, so money is not much of a concern for me. So great budget. Then I have a girlfriend, and it's a very important relationship, and I don't really want to screw it up with weird stuff. So intimacy is very important for me, and also for her. I don't have a girlfriend, but let's imagine. So what would be the best pick for me in this case, or for us? Probably be, in the extreme case, a hotel or bed and breakfast or Airbnb, because I have the room by myself. Or you can also pick a single room in a hostel. Please go if you have a girlfriend, go in a single room. Do not go in a shared room, because there is no intimacy. Okay. So at this point, you understood which kind of accommodation you want, but then you still have the big question on, I know that I want to pick a hotel, but which one in the city, in the village that I want to go, should I pick? And here, this is would be a factor, but it's not really a factor, because it's more about which accommodation you want. You choose which accommodation depending on how far are these activities from the accommodation itself. So let's consider a case. You want to visit Paris, you want to see all the big monuments, the Louvre, the Tour Eiffel. These things are all in the center. So guess what? You're probably gonna pick a hotel or a hostel or an Airbnb or a bed and breakfast in the center. Very simple. And the distance, it's what will probably push you to go in one place or in another. And then you might want to refine it with the budget that you have, and that's it. So that was probably it. There is one last thing that I want to mention, and these are activities that you can do in daytime and nighttime in a city, for example, in major cities. Why am I gonna talk about them? Because these are things that are very nice to do at the beginning, in particular if you're starting traveling or being a digital nomad, and they're very useful. So for example, during daytime, it can be very nice to do some free walking tours. These are tours that will basically present usually the center of the city, and you have to just give a tip. So you can even go without paying, but I really suggest you to give some money to these guys. You can find usually free walking tour. You just go find search for them on Google. You just write free walking tour and the name of the city, and you're gonna find a bunch of them. These are things that you can do during the day. Another thing that you can do, for example, in the night is and to have some fun are pub crawls, and basically it's very similar to a free walking tour, but in this case you pay a fixed amount, and they will bring you to, instead of visiting places, you visit bars and pubs. And they say that you'll get drunk, but you're not gonna get drunk, maybe a little bit tipsy, because the shots, they're gonna give you shots at each bar, but they're not strong at all. And anyway, it's very nice. You're gonna meet some people in there, and you usually end up in a club or a disco, just to end up the night somehow. Last thing is that free walking tours at pub crawls are all things that belongs to what I call the touristic track. That's why I was talking about it. Start with a touristic track, do all the touristic things, and well, you'll discover soon what you like. Maybe you are not at all for pub crawls and you prefer to actually go in bars, visit them by yourself. So at this point, that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed, and well, see you in the next one. Bye.